Scottish team looked sharp and eager to get on with the real business of the World Cup when they trained on a practice pitch alongside the main stadium at Cordoba. With Willie Donachie suspended and unable to play in the opener against Peru, it seems likely that Martin Buchan will take over at left back. He looked fit and fully recovered from the injury he picked up in the match against Ireland. All Ally MacLeod's midfielders are fighting fit, and Asa Hartford found it easy to stroke passes around on turf identical to the main stadium that was firm and true. Hartford had a fine game against England, which should book him a midfield spot against Peru. Still, it's a fair guess that manager MacLeod will not try any experiments when he faces the Peruvians on Saturday. He did concentrate particular attention to shooting practice, and with the first game now so close, there's plenty of pressure on the Scottish players and manager Ally MacLeod.
So I miss my wife and family, which anyone would naturally do, but I'm quite happy. I'm happy with a good bunch of lads and enjoy doing it, and it hasn't changed me one iota, you know. I'm quite relaxed. Hands very, very steady.
One of the things that the local press have made plenty of is the fact that you haven't bothered in your preparation to go to see Iran, Peru and Holland in any great detail. Why, in fact, did you decide not to see the other teams?
Well, basically, the games, first of all, Peru was away on the other side of the world, and I was still in the preparations of my own squad, getting my own 22, making sure that I was picking the right 22. Iran came in the middle of the home championships, but I have absolute full details. Mike Smith from Wales was good enough to give me the rundown in Iran. I've watched the tapes of Peru and Argentina and Peru and Brazil, and I know about them, but I feel myself in the World Cup. You can prepare by becoming too dossier-minded. And what I've decided to do is to try and win the World Cup by preparing my own team to perfection. And if my own team is at perfection, we'll let everyone else worry about Scotland.
Helmut Schoen made a point, I don't know whether you noticed it in the paper or not here, that in the last World Cup, Scotland played against Zaire as if it was, quote, their last practice match, unquote. Is there any danger of that kind of slightly negative thinking getting into the players' heads or yours for Saturday?
No, I think this World Cup's different from the last World Cup. In the last World Cup, we had Zaire, we had Yugoslavia, and we had Brazil. And the point was, it was all going to hinge in goal average, it looked like. And when we only beat Zaire 2-0, everyone said, oh, that's terrible. I would settle for beating Peru 1-0 or 2-0. Because in this section, if you win your first two games, you're through. And that's what we aim to try and do, is to get it over, get the strain off us and go out, and we could possibly play the Holland game as a practice game.
The fans, I don't think, have ever before been so pro-Scottish back home. I wonder if you're slightly worried about the possibility of letting them down.
No, I think what Kenny Burns said in the bus to Prestwick, when we were all lined the bridges and the roads, he said, you know, playing for Scotland is more than playing for yourself. And it's the same managing Scotland. I'm managing Scotland not for myself. I mean, I've been a manager for 13 years. I'm managing Scotland for 5 million people back home. And I hope, make many mistakes on their behalf. And I'm sure that the players realise that they're not just playing for Kenny Burns, Asa Hartford, or whoever it may be. They're playing for 5 million people. And we all know that. I will do my utmost to bring back the result that 5 million people want. And to everyone back home at the television, keep your fingers crossed, and as I say, God willing, that the result will be what we all want. And don't drink too many, shall we say, exports, and stay awake and see the next game. That's all I would say, you know.